We have all heard about the mass surveillance programs done by the NSA and the US government. But did you know that all of the world's governments are having their own programs in place for mass surveillance? Even the Indian government has its own mass surveillance programs in place. Details about these mass surveillance programs coming up right now. As we all know, nowadays mass surveillance is not a new thing, and all of the world's governments are actually doing it. Some of them have come out in the open, and many people know about it now, but people think that only the US government is doing this. It's actually done by most of the governments in the world. What are the programs in place by the Indian government that can lead to mass surveillance? Let's look into this. There are three known programs in place. One is the Central Monitoring System. This program enables the Government of India to listen into the phone conversations, interject emails, text messages, monitor posts on social networking, and track searches on Google. So, this is one of the systems. The second one is DRDO Netra. This network is capable of tracking online communications on a real-time basis by harvesting data from various voice-over IP services like Skype, Google Talk, Hangouts, etc. It is operated by the Research and Analysis Wing. Next program that we will look into is Nat Grid. It is an intelligence grid that links databases of several departments and ministries of Government of India. These are just the known programs. We don't know if there are any more. We'll first look into Central Monitoring System and what exactly it does. The Central Monitoring System is abbreviated as CMS and is a centralized telephone interception provisioning system. It is installed by the Center of Deployment of Telematics, and this is actually an Indian government owned telecommunications technology development center. So, using this, all of your phone calls and any other conversations can be listened into and can be tracked. So, it's not only just tracking who is calling who, but it's also looking into the conversation that is made on the calls. Now, how is this actually legal in a democratic state? So the authorization used to create this program, it exercises a power conferred by the Section 7 of the Indian Telegraph Act, which is 1885. So this is an act that is made even before the internet was conceived, and that act has been used to look into all of the conversation that can be made over these digital lines. Which are the departments that have access to this database that is created or this program that is created? We don't know the exact details, but we think it is the Intelligence Bureau, Narcotics Control Bureau, Directorate of Enforcement, Central Board of Direct Taxes, Directorate of Revenue Intelligence, Central Bureau of Investigation, National Investigation Agency, Research and Analysis Wing, that is RAW, and Directorate of Signal Intelligence. These should be the departments that are able to access this program and get all details from it. Now, the reason why the government does these kind of things is for safety, and I am all for safety and I am all for defending the nation, but it shouldn't be at the cost of privacy. If this system required a magistrate warrant to actually listen into the phone calls or conversations, then it would be okay. But this requires no warrant, no magistrate authorization, anything of that sort. There is nothing required. It is always able to track any conversation if it feels that it is a plausible threat to national security. So if they think that you are dodging taxes, then they can listen into your phone calls. So it doesn't matter what can be proven. This could be just false allegations against you, but if they think that you are in any of these things, any of the problematic things that might not be right according to the democracy, then they can actually track all your conversations using this system. Next we have DRDO Netra. Now Netra is actually a acronym that is actually for Network Traffic Analysis, and it is a software developed by the Center of Artificial Intelligence and Robotics, and then it was adopted by the Defense Research and Development Organization of India. Now it is used by the Intelligence Bureau supposedly. We don't have exact details. You're not going to get exact details of what exactly happens and who has access to the program. But this was a program created to intercept voice over IP. If the CMS was able to track all of the conversations on your normal phones and telephone lines, they found that voice over IP is used heavily and can be used by terrorists or any of these organizations which are harmful to the country. So what they did is they created this program so that voice over IP and all the data that is sent through all of these voice over IP programs like Skype or Hangouts or any of these other sources like BlackBerry Messenger, etc., they can be tracked. So government can watch over all of these things also. That was the reason for this thing to be created. Now there are no actual people listening to the conversations. It's actually done through computers and through software. So there are servers that are actually dedicated to listening to all of these voice traffic and interpret it, and it actually looks for the software actually looks for specific words like attack, bomb, anything of that sort that might be considered dangerous, and it tracks for it in real time. It can also track emails, status updates, Facebook updates, your messengers, anything of that sort. Later on, this program also started tracking all of the Google searches. This is all done for national security. Lastly, we come to Nat Grid. Nat Grid was established after the 26/11 attacks on Mumbai, and it was found that at that time the intelligence agencies were not having a centralized database and they weren't able to communicate properly. So Nat Grid was created at that time so that all of these agencies can have a centralized database. Nat Grid has also faced opposition charges of possible violations of privacy and leaking of confidential personal information. Its efficiency in preventing terror attacks has also been questioned, as no state agencies or police force has access to this database. We hope you liked this video that we presented today. And before we end, we just want to add, all of this information that was presented is already available to the public, and we have not done any violations by presenting it in a video. What are your opinions about these programs that you might have known or might not have known about before? Leave them in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe. This was Jamie for TopEvt. You have a nice day.